Yesterday we had seen that Jimmy, he initially what type of a life he was living, and then a girl came into his life, and all of a sudden he changed his life after spending years in prisons. Also he couldn't change, but later on when the girl came into his life, he changed. What did he do? He started his own business, and then we saw that he had written a letter to his old friend, and in the letter he described that now he has changed a lot. And earlier, the previous thing what he was doing, he was as a thief. He had a briefcase with him where he had tools, through which he used to do robberies, and also he wanted to return this also to his friend, right? And along with that, in the letter he was also trying to explain to his friend that that it's since he has changed his life, he's not going to come back again,
Good morning, ma'am.
the other life now. Okay, good morning. So now, till now, how many characters we have come across? Number one is Jimmy, right? Number
Yes,
two,
ma'am.
the lady, name of the lady is
Annabelle Adams.
Annabelle
Annabelle
Adams.
Adam.
Annabelle Adam. Okay, then third character,
Warden.
Billy.
okay, the warden who was responsible while releasing him from the prison. Yes. Fourth character,
Ma'am,
Billy.
Mike
Billy.
Dolan.
Ma'am, Mike Dolan. Yes, ma'am, Mike
Mike
Dolan.
Dolan.
yes, Mike Waller, from whom he took the keys and he went to his room, right? Okay.
Yes.
Next,
Ma'am,
fourth
Ralph D.
character,
Spencer.
fifth
Billy.
character.
Ma'am,
Billy.
Ralph D. Spencer.
So yeah, that is him only. He just
Yes,
changed
ma'am.
his name.
And
That is
ma'am,
him
the
only.
kid by whom he asked the information, the
Yes,
kid.
ma'am, the
Ma'am, the
best
Ma'am, the
answer.
child.
Yes, yes,
Ben Price, detective.
yes. Very good, very good. Raj, Ben Price. Who's Ben Price?
The detective.
ma'am, the detective.
Detective. What did Ben Price got the hint during the robberies? What had
Ma'am,
happened?
he knew that he knew Jimmy's habits. That's why he was able to find that Jimmy Valentine had started robbing again.
Okay, so Ben Price, basically why I was revising the characters, because I really wanted to focus on Ben Price because he's going to come again in the story. Let's see what. It is not about the habits, it's just that Ben Price is quite aware about the style of robbery through which Jim has a different style. So he would recognize Jim with the style of the robbery he has done. So we have done till this letter. Everybody has understood till this letter.
Yes,
Shall
ma'am.
we go ahead?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
anyone who would like to read?
Ma'am, may I?
Okay,
Ma'am,
go
may
ahead.
Ma'am, may I read?
Yes, ma'am.
Let Hia read.
Okay, ma'am. On the Monday night after Jimmy wrote this letter, Ben Price came unobtrusively into Elmore. He lounged about town in his quiet way until he found out what he wanted to know. From the drugstore across the street from the Spencer shoe store, he got a good look at Ralphie Spencer. Going to marry the banker's daughter, are you, Jimmy? Said Ben to himself softly. Well, I don't know. The next morning, Jimmy had breakfast with Annabelle's family. He was going to Little Rock that day to order his wedding suit and buy something nice for her. After breakfast, quite a family party went downtown together. Mr. Adams, Annabelle, and Annabelle's married sister with her two little girls, aged 5 and 9, they came by the hotel where Jimmy still boarded, and he ran up his room and brought along his suitcase. Then they went on to the bank. There stood Jimmy's horse and buggy waiting to take him to the railroad station.
Okay, let's stop here. So now after this, what happens is next on a Monday morning after Jimmy wrote the letter, Ben Price. Who's Ben Price?
The detective.
Ma'am, the
Detective.
detective.
Detective. Where did he come?
Ma'am,
To Elmore.
Elmore.
To Elmore. Okay. And on the other hand, over here, Jim who is now known as Ralph D. Spencer. He is, as we all know, he got engaged to the girl and he was about to marry the girl in the next 2 weeks, right? So he wanted to go to to buy some stuff for his wedding. All right. So he had the next morning, the Annabella's family, he has a breakfast with Annabella's family, and then the family, after having a breakfast to get together, then they go downstairs. Over here, few more characters are introduced. Who are the characters after Mr. Adams? That means that is
Annabelle's
Annabelle's married
Annabelle's family.
sister and her
Okay.
two
And
girls.
two little daughters.
Two little daughters. Okay. What were the age of these daughters?
Ma'am,
One
five
was
Nine.
5 and other was 9.
Okay, in the next paragraphs, we will also see these names. These two little daughters are going to play an important role. Let's see what part they take in the story. Give me 2 minutes. I'll just.
The Elmore Bank had just put in a new safe and vault. Mr. Adams was very proud of it and insisted on an inspection by everyone. The vault was a small one, but it had a new patented door. It fastened with 3 solid steel balls thrown simultaneously with a single handle and had a time lock. Mr. Adams beamingly explained its workings to Mr. Spencer, who showed a curious but not too intelligent interest. The two children, May and Agatha, were delighted by the shining metal and funny clock and knobs.
Okay, fine. Let's stop here. So, what happens? Where does this family go then after the breakfast?
Ma'am, to the Elmore Bank.
To the Elmore Bank. Okay, so this entire family has gone to the bank. Now over here, they introduce Jimmy to a door. What door is this all about?
Ma'am, a vault, ma'am. Ma'am, a vault was a small, ma'am. The
Okay.
new patent door.
It was newly built, and he himself was not aware about it, and along with them these two girls. So what was the name of those
May and
two girls?
Agatha.
May and Agatha.
And Agatha. And how were they related to that girl whom Jimmy liked? Who
Ma'am,
they were?
Ma'am,
were
they were there.
sisters, daughter.
Niece.
Niece.
Niece,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay, so her sisters, daughters, that means these. Okay, so now these two little girls, when they saw this door, the new door, and it was quite shining, it seemed very pleasing and attractive to them. Okay, and they were playing over there. All right, now let's see what happens further while they were playing next to this door in the bank. Yes.
Ma'am, I have to continue.
Yeah, anybody else who would like to continue?
Ma'am, should I?
Ma'am,
Yes, go ahead. Okay, Vivan had asked. Yes, Vivan, go ahead.
While they were engaged, Ben Price sauntered in and leaned on his elbow, looking casually inside the railings.
Between the railings.
Between the railings, yes, sorry. He told the teller that he didn't want anything. He was just waiting for a man he knew. Suddenly, there was a scream or two from the woman and a commotion, unnoticed by the elders. Made the 9-year-old girl in a spirit of play had shut Agatha in the vault. She had then shot the bolts and turned the knob, and the combination as she had seen Mr. Adam do. The old banker sprang to the handle and tugged it at it for a moment.
Okay, so
door-
now 1 minute. So now, see, this family was already there in the bank. The girls were there, and they were, noticing this new door which they had made. The girls were excited. They were playing with it. And who enters the bank? Along
Now,
with
Mr. Ben,
who is Mr. Benz?
detective.
Detective. So he has also entered the same bank. Okay. Now he is also there in the bank, and these girls were playing next to the door, and accidentally what happens is the 9-year-old girl, that is me, she locks Agatha in the wall. Okay. where she sees Mr. Adam doing playing or fidgeting with this while playing, and accidentally she locks her inside. Now everybody is shouting, screaming, and they're trying to open the door, but this door is completely new. So let's see what happens. Have you understood till here, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Raj, can you read?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, can I?
Oh, yes. So sorry. Yes, Shreyas, read. Then I'll give Raj. Yes, Shreyas.
Okay. The door can't be opened, he groaned. The clock hasn't been wound, nor the combination set. Agatha's mother screamed again, hysterically. Agatha! Mr. Adams called as loudly as he could. Listen to me. During the falling silence, they could just hear the faint of the child wildly shrieking in the dark vault in a panic of terror. My precious darling, wailed the mother. She will die of fright. Open the door. Oh, break it open. Can't you men do something? There isn't a man near the little rock who can open that door, said Mr. Adams in a shaky voice. My God, Spencer, what shall we do? That child, she cannot stand it long in there.
Okay,
Agatha,
stop here. So what happens? Everybody gets panic. Even the mother of the child gets panic. She starts screaming, and she is insisting the men around to open the door. And on the other hand, the condition of the child is not good. She is not replying, and she is getting panic. She's panicking. So even Mr. Adam, he is also panicking. Nobody is able to open the door because this was completely new, and he was also not aware about the system. And so in this shaky voice, Mr. Adam asks whom to open the door?
Ma'am,
Spencer.
Jimmy.
Spencer, right? He asks Spencer if he could what we could do. How do we remove the child from inside? What do you think, will Spencer be able to open the door?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Because this was a job, his job, right? He is very good in this, but in this entire situation, he was still sitting very quiet, waiting, because he didn't wanted to reveal his identity, maybe. But let's see what happens further. Now Raj, can you read?
Okay, ma'am. Agatha's mother, frantic, beat the door of the vault with her hands. Somebody widely suggested dynamite. Annabelle turned to Jimmy, her large eyes full of anguish, but not yet despairing. To a woman, nothing seems impossible to the powers of the man she worships. Can't you do something, Ralph? Try, won't you? He looked at her with a strange, soft smile on his lips, and in his keen eyes. He threw off his coat and pulled up his shirt sleeves. With that act, Ralph D. Spencer vanished, and Jimmy Valentine took his place. Get away from the door, all of you, he commanded. Shortly, he set his suitcase on the table and opened it out flat. From that time on, he seemed to be unconscious of the presence of anyone else. He laid out the shiny implements and swiftly and orderly, whistling softly to himself as he always did when at work. In a deep silence and quite transfixed, the others watched him. In 10 minutes, breaking his own record, he threw back the bolts and opened the door. Agatha, almost collapsed, but safe, was gathered into her mother's arms. However, Jimmy Valentine knew the game was over. He put on his coat and walked outside the railings towards the front door. As he went, he thought he heard Annabelle's voice call out to him, Ralph! But it seemed to come from so far away, he did not hesitate. At the door, a big man stood somewhat in his way. Hello, Ben, said Jimmy.
Okay, 1 minute. Let's stop there. So now what happens is everybody is panicking. Everybody is trying to find out a solution to open the door, and nobody is able to open the door. Even Mr. Adam inquires, what should be done to Spencer. And then in that thing, the girl, that is Annabella, requests who? Spencer, right, to open the door, if he could do anything to it. And then instantly, the Spencer, which what he had changed himself into Spencer, that goes away, and he transforms himself into the told Jimmy who would open the door as he used to do. Okay, since he is very acquainted with his job, so within 10 minutes, and he does the job of opening door. He uses the instruments, the tools so swiftly that the people standing there. Okay, he asked the people to go away from the door, and they were just watching and looking what exactly he was doing. They were quite astonished to see how professionally he was doing, but they didn't know his real identity. For them, it was quite surprising how well he was able to open the door. Within 10 minutes, he broke his own record and he was able to open the door. And the child, that is Agatha, was brought out, saved. She was rescued safely and she was given to her mother. Now, everybody definitely seemed to be very surprised. How come, within 10 minutes, he was able to open the door? In that thing, then later on he again realizes, in between he forgets that he is Jimmy Spencer. He's Spencer. Unconsciously he takes over his old you can say the old job task thing. Then later on he again realizes, okay, now this task is over. Now I should again come back to my fake identity, and he wears his coat and he was trying to work. Somebody enters or somebody calls him. Who was that? Who is that somebody?
Ma'am, Annabella Adams.
Annabella, is it Annabella?
No, ma'am, Ben.
Annabelle.
Who else has
Mr.
entered
Ben.
the bank? Mr.
Ben.
Ben, that is Ben Price. Let's see what does Ben Price do. And Ben Price, who is Ben Price? He's the
Detective.
detective, and he is quite aware about his real identity. Okay, among the crowd which is there over there, it's only Ben Price who knows who is this person. Okay, now let's see what happens. Yes.
At the door, a big man stood, somewhat in his way. "Hello, Ben," said Jimmy, still with his strange smile. "Got around at last, have you? Well, let's go. It's over. And I don't know what it makes much difference now." And then Brent Price acted rather strangely. "I guess you're mistaken, Mr. Spencer," he said. "I don't believe I recognize you. Your buggy is waiting for you, isn't it?" And Ben Price turned and strolled down the street.
Okay, so this is the conclusion. What happens over here? What do you think? What would be the reaction? Like, see, till now, Jimmy had not seen Ben Price, and like, they did not meet. Now, all of a sudden, when both of them are face to face to each other, what would Jimmy do? He would run away or he would surrender? What do you think?
Ma'am, I think you would run away.
He would run away.
And to surrender.
I mean,
Oh,
he
ma'am, he will
surrendered.
surrender.
Yes, he wanted to surrender, right? Because now he's changed, right? He has changed. And the fact that he is advising his old friends about the change and how he is enjoying this change itself shows that he wanted to surrender. But to his surprise, what happens? Ben Price
Acts as if he doesn't know.
he doesn't
Recognize.
recognize him.
Yes. Like he was not known to him at all.
Yeah, no, Ben Price, he did not recognize him with his real identity. He also thought that this is real Spencer. And then when Jimmy approaches Ben Price, what does Ben Price tell him? I
don't recognize you.
I don't recognize.
Yes, he says he hasn't recognized. Okay, and in fact he says that your buggy is waiting for you outside. This shows what?
Ben Price had changed his heart.
Yes. Okay. So even basically he wanted to surrender, but when he finds that okay, this person is not recognized, he was only one who knew his real identity. But if he has only not recognized, so he kept quiet and he walked away. Got it?
Yes.
Clear? Everyone understood?
Yes.
Let's go. Any questions, children?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No questions. That means everyone understood the entire prose?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Let's do the question answers then.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. What help is given by the prison warden to rehabilitate Valentine to become a good citizen? What advice did he
Ma'am, may
give?
I?
What help? Yes, Vivan?
Ma'am, the warden gave a rehabilitated to Jimmy Valentine to become a good citizen, and he told him that be a good citizen and do good things, and he's going to get a bail next morning.
Okay. Any help? This was
And ma'am,
advice.
and ma'am, the
Yes.
warden handed him a $5 bill and a railroad
Hmm.
ticket,
Hmm.
so that the law expected him to rehabilitate himself to become a good citizen.
Right. This is correct answer. So Vivan, what you gave was the advice. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
And this is help. The question over here is about help.
Okay.
Got it? Got the difference, students?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Next is, from whom does Valentine pick up his key? Who gives his key?
Ma'am, Mike Dolan.
Okay. Okay. What does Valentine do within the next half hour? After getting his key, what did he do?
Within the half an hour, Jimmy first dresses into good clothes and becomes an elegant person, and then he slides a door, like something in the wall, and removes a dusty suitcase that contains a lot of his tools. Then, along with this, he gets out of the cafe and goes on with his work.
Okay, okay. You can also mention that he is quite, you can say the looking at the tools which he himself has invented, he feels quite very proud of himself, right?
Yes,
You
ma'am.
can include that as well. Okay, who is Ben Price?
Ma'am, Ben Price is the detective.
Okay,
And
how does he reach the conclusion that Valentine is in the action again? How does he come to know that,
ma'am, no, Ben Price investigated the scenes of robbery, and he heard the remark that he knew that Jimmy Valentine's style, and he resumed the business. So Ben Price knew Jimmy's habits.
Okay,
That's why
okay.
Ma'am,
was
can we tell he knew because after seeing the style how the vault was opened, he got the clue that it was no other than Valentine.
Yes, you can say that, but before that, just add a sentence to it, na? That when he reached to the bank, when he investigated, he saw the style, okay, the style in which the robbery was done. He looking at that style, he got a clue that this robbery is done none but whom? By
Jimmy Valentine.
Jimmy Valentine.
Valentine, because he is quite aware about his style of robbery. Got it, Shreyas and Vivan?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next question. In Elmo, as Valentine went down the sidewalk towards the hotel, what happened to make him forget who he was and become another man?
Ma'am, yeah.
Yes.
Ma'am, when he was going sidewalk towards the hotel, he saw a girl who was Annabelle Adams, and he had a other way of seeing her, and he changed himself as Ralph Spencer.
Yes, it is. It is rightly known as love at first sight, which made
Yes,
him
ma'am.
change, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So next, Valentine turned over a new leaf to begin a new life in Elmo. Briefly describe the changes that came about in Valentine's life. Okay, so definitely after having after he met this girl, his life changed drastically, right? Do you all agree with this?
Yes,
So
Yes,
ma'am.
now
ma'am.
you have to tell me, you have to describe how his life changed.
Ma'am, may I tell?
Yes, yeah.
So, ma'am, the changes that came about in Valentine's life when he began a new life in Elmore were that he opened a good business of a shoe store, and
First, what did he do before opening the
Changed
business?
his name to Ralph D.
Yes.
Spencer.
he changed his
Yes,
name to
ma'am.
Ralph D. Spencer, and then he opened a shoe store where he did a good and fair business. His business was also going on a very nice way. And he had also written a letter to his friend Billy that.
No, he became a businessman.
And then he was
He
ready
got
to.
engaged to Annabelle.
Annabelle
Yes,
To
Adams.
marry into
yes,
Billy.
And his wish of heart was being
Art.
accomplished.
Yes,
yes.
ma'am.
And
Got it?
he-
So
Yes.
go according to the sequence of your text here.
Okay, ma'am.
Got it? This goes to the other students as well. And if they are asking you to describe, that means it has to be a description. You cannot write give one or two sentences. Okay, please make sure that you give a complete description of it. Next question: what is Cox of the letter Valentine wrote to his old pal? What letter did he write to old pal? Come on, tell me.
In the letter, Valentine wrote to Billy that he wanted to meet him at Sullivan's place to give him his tools that were that he would not find anywhere in the world, and they were special. And he also told him that Valentine was now living a simple life, and he had also accomplished his wish that was to he was going to get married to a nice girl. So he just wanted to tell his friend Billy that come at Sylvan's place, I will give you the tools, and that's it.
Yes, yes. So this is what he had written in the. Along with that, he was also trying to give advice to his friend, right, about his new change in life. All right.
Yes.
Now, looking at his letter, whatever he had written to his, friend, old pal. What is your opinion of Valentine after reading the letter? What do you think about Jimmy after reading the
Ma'am, that
letter?
he has changed his life.
Okay, he has not only changed. What else is there?
Ma'am, he was going to marry a girl on earth,
Okay,
finest girl on earth, and
okay, okay. Anything else?
along with being a good man, he also advised his old pal to become a good person. Like being a bad person is not good, but
Yes,
instead of being a good person is better, and we can
yes.
live more freely as compared to that life.
Yes, got it. This is what I was also wanted to tell. So this is more important. See, he is enjoying the changed life, and that's the reason he is advising his friend also that this life which what he has changed is simple. The simple life which he's living now is best. He's trying to basically convey that advice. Okay, got it. Very good, Shreyas. Very nice. Others also very nice. Keep it up. All right, next question. What risk did Valentine run when he decided to open the vault? What risk did he had?
The risk that Valentine when he decided to open the vault, the first was to destroy the relationship between him and the Annabelle, as they will get to know that he was none other than a burglar.
Very
And
good.
second, he knew that there was Ben Price who was waiting on the door, so he had that fear also that he may take him to the prison.
Okay. Did he meet Ben Price before opening the door?
no, ma'am.
No,
No,
after.
Was he aware Ben Price was already
No,
there in the bank?
no.
no, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No. Okay, so the second point is not valid. Okay, Shreyas?
So only
First,
his
Okay.
Only the
identity
first
would
point,
get
his
exposed.
identity was.
yes, and if you will see the text, even the girl was quite surprised because as a businessman, okay, who is so successful, and looking at him, he is so professionally opening the door. Somewhere or the other, anybody could get a second thought, right? That how come he could do it so easily, so professionally, right? So he risked that thing, right, while opening the door. Next, and then Ben acted rather strangely. What did he do? And why did he do this?
Ma'am, yeah.
Okay, first, do
Ma'am,
you
can I
agree
try?
that, first tell me, do you agree that Ben acted strangely?
No, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
he
ma'am.
acted strangely. What did he do? So the ones who said no, they will get their answer. How did he acted strangely? What did he do?
Ma'am, he didn't recognize Jimmy and said that your buggy is waiting out.
Yes, He didn't recognize Jimmy, and instead of, maybe on the other hand, Jimmy was expecting, maybe he will catch hold of him and he'll have to surrender. Jimmy was all prepared for it, but Jimmy was also surprised because he acted so strangely, where he told that he did not recognize him, and instead he said that your buggy is waiting outside for you. That means you can go. This shows that he is pointing out that you are free to live.
Yes.
But now the next question is, why did he do this?
Ma'am, because Ben Price had a change of heart in him.
Ma'am,
Had a change of heart.
And because he understood
Ma'am,
that Jimmy
because
was a
Ben
changed
Price.
man.
Because
Okay.
And
because according to me, like he understood that now Valentine has changed, and now also he saw that he has done that, open the vault not for himself but to save the child.
Correct. What, Raj? What were you saying? He interrupted you, beta. What were you saying?
Ma'am, I was going to say the same thing, that
Same thing. Okay.
he was going to open the vault, but not for himself, but to save the girl.
Okay. Right. Okay. Got it? Clear, everyone?
Yes,
Have you
ma'am.
all got the answers till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Shall we go further?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So there's this small extract given, and based upon that, you have questions. First question is, why was Jimmy fond of this suitcase? What was very important in that suitcase?
Ma'am,
Why
in
was
the suitcase, he had the burglar's tools for to open the vaults, ma'am.
Was it just the tools?
Ma'am,
No, ma'am.
Tools. Yes, ma'am.
ma'am, the suitcase contains the finest burglar tools that any robber would want, and also it contains some tools that were created by Jimmy himself. So he also took pride in them.
Yes.
And ma'am, they were made with.
This is the correct answer. Got it, Vivan? There are
Yes,
two
ma'am.
things mentioned in this. First, it had finest tools, and secondly, it had tools which was created by by himself. So that's the reason he was so fond of the suitcase, and that suitcase was so dear to him. Okay, describe the series of robberies that took place after Jimmy's release. So there were a series of robberies happening as soon as he was released. So tell me one after the other what had happened.
Ma'am, Ma'am,
Yes.
a week after the release of Jimmy Valentine 9762, there was a neat job of safe burglary done in Richmond, Indiana.
Vivan, answer according to the question. The series. So now give me number 1, number 2, number 3. This bank, this bank, this bank, like that.
Okay, ma'am. Number 1, a week after the release of Valentine 9762, there was a neat job of safe burglary done in Richmond, Indiana with no clue.
This is number 1. Good. Number 2.
Number 2, 2 weeks after a patented improved burglar-proof safe in Logansport was burgled to tune of $1,500 currency.
Okay.
Documents and silvers were untouched.
Yes. After this?
Number 3, then an old-fashioned bank safe in Jefferson City became the target.
Okay. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
So these are the series of robberies which had happened after his release. So when you're describing each series, automatically you're giving small explanations related to it. But I would always ask you all, whenever such type of questions you all get in your exams, where they're asking you to describe anything, explain anything, please make sure you all first see the number of marks, okay, which the question carries. And based upon the marks, you all can elaborate your answer or you all can shorten your answer. Okay, if it is asked for more marks, you can add more points. If not, you can just give a small description. Clear, everyone?
Yes.
Next is,
yes, ma'am.
Who investigated these robberies? Again,
Ma'am, can I?
Ma'am,
Yes.
Ben Price investigated.
Yes. Okay. The same question is asked twice in 2 different ways. First, they were asking the name, and now they are asking who did it. Okay. What statement does he make after the investigation? Ben
Ma'am, the
Price.
statement that Ben Price makes is that Jimmy Valentine style, he resumed the business.
Okay, so this was a statement. So if you're giving, if you're quoting a statement, you need to quote it in inverted commas, okay? Because that is his statement. Always remember this. Okay.
Okay.
Next, where does Jimmy proceed after these robberies? What did
Jimmy
Jimmy do?
proceeds to Elmore.
Sorry?
Ma'am, he proceeds to Elmore.
Yes, he proceeds to Elmore. Got it?
Yes.
Clear? It's time up or there's still time?
Time.
Time
Time
up.
up. So I'll stop here for today. We'll continue with the discussion in the next class. Do you have any questions